He claims that the relapse was a one-shot, 3-day mistake, and he's fine. But the longer he talks, the more it becomes obvious that his voice is the voice of Nick on something. I wait. It's like watching from afar, perhaps through binoculars with imperfect lenses, the moments before a train wreck. All of us who love him commiserate. Karen and I, Vicky and I, Randy. We all know, and there's nothing we can do. I called Nick back. Nick, don't forget how dangerous it is when you aren't attending meetings, I say. Don't forget when you listen to the logic of your brain when it's under the influence. In recovery, working with Randy, Nick was the one who explained the insidiousness to me. A using addict cannot trust his own brain. It lies, says, you can have one drink, a joint, a single line, just one. It tells him, I have moved on my sponsor. I have moved beyond my sponsor. It says, I don't require the obsessive and vigilant recovery program I needed when I was emerging from the relapse. It says, I am happier and more complete than I have ever been. It says, I am independent, alive. And so Nick said he couldn't trust his own brain and needed to rely on Randy. Meetings, the program, and prayer. Yes, prayer to go forward. Nick, you have come so far. Let me quote you. Everything I have will be gone if I don't stay with the program. 2 days later on Wednesday, Nick calls up slurring and asks for rent money. No. He says that he knew I would say no. He saved it for the end of the conversation. After, I love you so much. I'm safe. We really fucked up, but we're going to be fine now. I just took a little something to help me come down from the meth and coke and smack. And Vicky says no too. Now it's Friday. Nothing on Saturday. Nothing on Sunday. Nothing until Monday when an email arrives. Hey Pop, we're in the desert. Z is doing a commercial out by Joshua Tree. My phone doesn't get any reception here, and I just borrowed this computer for a second from some guy on the set. Sorry. This came up really suddenly. Anyway, I'll call you when I find a phone that works. It's hot here and boring. Z just doing wardrobe and I'm riding in the shade here. Don't fret. I may have some exciting news too. Love ya, Nick. Joshua Tree. A respite. An oasis. Maybe Nick will stop on his own. Maybe he'll be okay. Nothing for 2 more days, but Nick is in the desert, riding in the shade. There are drugs in the desert, too. At night, Karen and I switch off reading to the kids. We are nearing the end of Harry Potter. Professor Dumbledore died. He is dead. More than one of the children we know cried for hours when they read this. Albus Dumbledore. Harry's protector with whom these children grew up is dead. Evil is winning, and I feel weakened by the ceaseless battle. On Thursday, Jasper has a soccer game after school. Daisy has swimming. Karen and I divide the driving. I have found a quiet place in the corner of the clubroom near the pool to write. Looking up out the window, through the slates of the shutters, I see a dark form curve and break the water, followed by a pair of kicking feet. Daisy doing her laps. The coach, poised and tanned in the lithe. The coach, poised and tanned. The coach, poised and tanned in lithe. A former All-American swimmer who has taught all 3 of our children, crouches at the end of the lane, encouraging Daisy and the other swimmers. I lose sight of her among the lines of bodies in her blue suits until she returns back in the I lose sight of her among the lines of bodies in their blue suits until she returns back down. I lose sight of her among the lines of bodies in their blue suits until she returns back down the lane in the opposite direction, her powerful arms pulling in arching freestyle strokes. I remember when it was her big brother, Nick, in the water, his lean dolphin body cutting through the pool. Hey you, mister, let's skedaddle. Hey you, mister, let's skedaddle. Hey you, mister, let's skedaddle. It is Daisy. It is Daisy, dripping after a shower, wrapped in a beach towel. There is no news. There is no news. Some of the panic in which I lived during these crises seem to have lifted. I worry, but I am not sick with worry. I'm getting better. I'm letting go. I'm in abject denial. I'm in abject denial. Denial. It must be like a soldier in a trench during a bombing raid. I've shut down every non-essential emotion. Worry, fear, concentrating every neuron in my new brain on the moment in order to stay alive. I'm in a silent war against an enemy, as pernicious and omniscient. I am in a silent war against. I am in a silent war against an enemy, as pernicious and omnipresent as evil. Evil. I don't even believe in evil anymore. I am in a silent war against an enemy, as pernicious and omnipresent as evil. Evil? I don't believe in evil any more than I believe in God. But at the same time, I know this. Only Satan himself. I am in a silent war against an enemy, as pernicious and omnipresent as evil. Evil. I don't believe in evil any more than I believe in God. But at the same time, I know this. Only Satan himself could have designed a disease that has self-deception as a symptom, so that its victims deny that they are afflicted and will not seek treatment, and will vilify those on the outside who see what's happening. After dinner, Jasper asked me to quiz him on math and his words of the week. Then he and I read a Mad magazine together. In bed, I grab one of the novels on the tottering stack on the night table. I will never get through all the books. I'm so tired at night that I read a page, maybe two, and fall asleep. Kieran joins me. A page, 2 pages. I am asleep. The telephone rings. I ignore it. In my half-consciousness, I have decided it is a serviceman we called for an estimate on some repairs. I think. It will wait until the morning. The phone rings again. I'll get the messages tomorrow. No, Karen says. You had better check. The first call is Nick's godfather. Nick just called him and left a message. He's in Oakland. My friend's voice is in a state of alarm. He says he's in trouble and needs help. I don't know what to do. My heart pounds. The next message is from Vicky. Nick called her too, leaving a similar message. I lied about Joshua Tree because I didn't want you to worry that I was in Oakland. I'm sober. Please, we're in trouble. We need plane tickets back to L.A. He tells a convoluted story about how they got there, but the bottom line is that he and Z are at the home of a crack addict in Oakland. But the bottom line is that he and Z are at the home of a crack addict in Oakland who is out of his mind and they have to get out. Nick is in Oakland. Brutus stiffly follows me upstairs, shuffling his weary paws along the concrete. I fill the tea kettle and place it on a flame on the stove. I return Vicky's call. She is unsure what to do, whether or not I pay for a plane ticket. I understand, but no, I say. If it were me, I would not help unless he wants to go into rehab. Then maybe.